Howdy folks, welcome to Extractaganza, batch number 3, and this be her ESB Golden Ale, Belgian Golden Ale to be precise. This is a 3 litre kit, and got a big shout out to Ray. This is one of the kits that he sent me, so that's what's going on today. Now, 3 kilo kit, you don't need anything to these. This is just a simple kit, put it in, mix it up with some water. Alright, they come with a yeast under the lid, a Saison T58. It's a Belgian style yeast, so it does like Saisons and that sort of thing, that sort of style, farmhouse type of thing. So it's a true yeast for what we look at, for the style of beer we're looking to do. So listen, these aren't a cheap kit. By memory, I think you pay about 40 bucks for these, as they are, which isn't bad when you allow for the price of a kit and malt and a pack of yeast. You're paying around that mark anyway. So to be able to just walk in, grab one of these from your brew shop if you can find them, and these are in quite a few brew shops, particularly on the east coast of Australia. I think ESB actually stands for East Sydney Brewing. I may be wrong, but that's always been my understanding what the ESB stood for. But these guys are based in Sydney, and they have several shops along the coast, and they have other suppliers as well. I'm not sure exactly where this one came from. I think this one came from Victoria. I think that's where Ray is. Not entirely sure, but Ray might put the comment in the bottom. You might be able to link us up with where it actually came from. So if anyone in that sort of area is looking for one, they can get hold of it. So this one, it says on the front, contains malt, hops, yeast to make 20 litres. Now when you read the back, it actually says to top up to 22 litres. Now, dissolve the contents of 4 litres of boiling water in your fermenter, then top up to 22 litres. So obviously the 20 litres is bottled beer. So we're going a litre below that normal sort of level. And they're telling me to have the temperature constant between 20 and 24 degrees, expecting it to ferment in 5 to 7 days. Final gravity can be high, 10-10 to 10-12. Bottle blah blah blah. I read the drinking 3 to 4 weeks, but improves greatly with age. So I'm going to get this sucker on. It's going to go straight into a normal fermenter, because I can't put 4 litres of hot water into one of my pressure fermenters, and because this is just a single can, there's nothing getting added to it, I can't do the normal mix of malt and dextrose. So this one's just going to go on the standard fermenter. It's going to ferment normal. I'm going to do it at 22 degrees, dead smack in the middle of that temperature range, because I do want to push the Belgian characteristics of the yeast. I don't want to restrain them. With this beer, I want to let the characters come up and see what we can get out of it. So it'll just run through the single fermenter. I will bottle as per standard bottling with priming sugar, and let it condition for 6 weeks as every other Extractaganza beer. And I'll be back soon, and we'll get some tasting happening. Okay, tasting day. Let's get into it. It's 8 weeks since brew day on this Golden Ale. 28th of April it was put down. Right now it's the 24th of June So right around 8 weeks. That's going to pour on. In sort of the most appropriate glass I've got sort of sitting around for the style. So, as I said, just the one taste of this batch. Only because there was no malt added, there was no way of playing around with it. So it's just the one, straight up what we're looking at. So. So we ran at 22 degrees, original gravity was 1044, final gravity was 1010. Now it did say on the can, expecting gravity to be 1012 to 1014. I did think that seemed a little bit high for the style. Generally a Belgian Golden, it's a dry sort of a brew, so I was surprised that they were sort of touting it to be finishing in that sort of range. So 1010 is where we finished. Bottled up, carb drop per 330ml bottle. It's not as highly carbonated as I would have expected it to be, but it's fairly clear, light coloured. So alcohol is 4.9% with the priming. So it would have been about 4.4% if you were going into a keg. Now my cold has been hanging about. It's definitely reduced, and I'm getting taste and smell back. So ideally this possibly could have gone another bloody 4 or 5 days before doing this, but to keep on track with the fortnightly, we're here. You can get that Belgian nose, that spicy sort of phenolic nose that's typical of the the Belgian styles. See, there's a little, didn't pour with much head. It's died pretty completely, and again, not an unusual thing for a Belgian ale. So let's have a go at it. Okay, straight up the bat, there's a lot of what you're expecting. Those typical sort of Belgian notes. There's a little bit of spice. There's bubble gum on the end of the mouth there. There's a tiny little bit of that sort of peppery, clovey sort of note through the middle. Not a lot. It's pretty subdued. The first mouthful was a lot heavier than the second, and then that's gonna happen. You know, as your mouth adjusts to those changes. It's quite light. It's got those little phenolic edges on it. It's dryish without, it's not really pushing too dry, which was again where I was talking with that, that 10, 12, 10, 14, thinking that seemed awfully high, because it's generally expecting a drier beer, I would have been thinking more, you know, dropping the 1006, 1008, that sort of range. But it is dryish. It's crisp. It's not too bad. It's not pushing a lot of the character that you'd expect, but it's not without some character. I said that kit, I've not brewed one of those 3 kilo kits before, and there was a lot of hop and stuff in the actual in the extract, which obviously made its way into the fermenter. And I've had issues with that with previously with different kits where they've had the actual hop in the tin, where it's been iffy on the flavouring. I really think in this case I possibly could have gone with a little more hop. Look, there's a bit there, but I think to really get into closer to the real style, I could have done with a little bit more hop, which is probably harder to achieve within the tin than it would be to achieve it outside of the tin. So it could be something you could look at if you were brewing it yourself, getting a dry hop or even a good hop steep into it to lift it a little bit. I think the yeast character is just a little bit subdued, and again I think that's possibly just from the dry yeast. I've never found the dry yeast to be really driving the flavour, those typical flavours. I think you need to go into some more specialised liquid strains, or in this case possibly pushing that temperature, maybe pushing up in that 24 degree range instead of keeping it down at 22. May have pushed that a little bit higher as well. I think it could have benefited from half a kilo of dextrose and pushing the alcohol a little bit along with that, just to dry it a little bit more. We'll give it a little bit more, but for a beer that is essentially brewed for drinking in summer, when it's hot, you're working, it's a worker's ale. It's designed to be drunk when you're working, to be refreshing, cleansing and dry. It hasn't done a bad effort at that. So I'm going to rate this as I'm going to rate it a 4 out of 5. Erring maybe towards a 3.5 if that was the case, but if you're a big Belgian fan and you're really into your farmhouse and your ales, the Saisons and stuff like that, then this isn't going to cut it for you. In that case, this is probably going to fall in the category of being a 3 for you. If you're a brewer who's happy to just experiment and to have something a little bit different, in the fridge or on you know, to drink, something just to play around with, and you're looking at more just having something a little bit, you know, with a different profile and a different sort of experience than what you normally do, I'd say give it a go. Again, as I think with some tweaks and a little bit of playing around, you could certainly get it more in the range. But I think for the average, or for most brewers sitting at home, without that big experience of brewing in the style, I think you're getting something that's close enough to the style without being enough of the style that's going to, you know, scare off people who aren't used to that sort of thing. I think you could give that to your mega swell mates, and just with the explanation that it's a Belgian style, and it's not going to freak them out. There's enough standard beer character there for them to drink it. They might not drink a lot of it, but it's not enough for them to just absolutely freak out and go, "What the hell are you? What are you doing to me? What are you trying to make me drink?" So yeah. So I said that score flips from a 3 to a 4 depending on exactly where I think your experience is with your beer. But yeah, I said, unless you're really against the Belgian style, I think it's worth having a crack at. Pardon me. Surprised me. I half expected this to be a really phenolic, overly dry and spicy, just, you know, unbalanced, you know, mess that you didn't want to drink. But it's far from that. Quite tasty, quite drinkable. So anyway, that's us for today. The ESB 3 kilo specialty craft kit, the Belgian Golden Ale. Another one I put down as success. Extractaganza number 3, done. So wrap up for today. Next beer in the Extractaganza, we're getting something dark, is the Morgans Ironbark Dark Ale. So that'll be about 2 weeks away, and we'll be trying that fella. So between now and then, we're brewing beer, drinking beer, or we talking beer. Good brewing. I'll see you then.